We're in the middle of talking about Andrea Peyser's column in the New York Post Saturday.
Entitled No Laughing Matter.
No Laughing Matter.
That's what you want when you're a comic being pretty much reviewed by this woman who has no credentials in reviewing a comedy act.
Oh, Jesus.
I love the pictures you use.
Oh, my God. We finally got a look at the pictures.
I told you, it makes you look like if you was writing a scathing report on something. They found a picture that I've never even seen myself that looks exactly like it should look for a bad
These are pictures of men, yeah. You and Louis' picture look like men that would just beat their women senseless.
Look at the picture they have of Louis like he's a raving, sweaty lunatic.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
fuck in his head.
And you've never looked like this in your life. I guarantee you this was a joke pose you did for somebody.
For some,
Because you got your head back, tilted to the side, all attitude, like...
This is just when, here's Patrice's picture. Just when the woman is coming to again after you just knocked her out, she's looking up, and this is the face you're giving her like, bitch, I've hit you harder than that. And you didn't go down.
And don't let me cut that index finger off so you don't dial 911. Like that's what a face is. What my face
Yeah, that's what
looks
your
like.
face looks like.
All right, let me
do that on purpose.
Let me do the quick recap here. So, Patrice was part of this comedy thing with Louis C.K. The Raunchy Fest, called Comedy Cares for the Homeless, took off at Town Hall in Midtown, headlined by funny woman Paula Poundstone and Carolyn Ray. But after suffering through the show, one major donor immediately yanked her support from Care for the Homeless, which is now building a Bronx shelter for women, many of them victims of domestic violence. So she's like, I'm out. I'm not helping black guys anymore.
And that woman was Merle Hoffman.
Merle Hoffman. Merle. A woman named Merle.
What the other? Did you get another?
Hold on, yeah, we're getting there. It's open season on women, said an angry Merle Hoffman, president of Choices Women's Clinic, who removed her support. That's what really...
And a lot of fetuses.
Said Merle Hoffman as she tweezered a hair out from between her teeth.
Merle.
Merle.
Hey, beautiful, what's your name? Merle.
Merle.
What's his name? Bob.
Also in the audience were an unamused Sonia Ossorio, president of the city's National Organization for Women, and Liz Abzug.
Liz Abzug.
Abzug.
I'm so sorry you have Liz Abzug. I do. How long do I have to live?
How do you have a B, a Z, and a G in the same 5-letter last name? She should be shot.
It's just how do you spell the most unsexy name in the world?
Merle.
Abzug. Or Merle.
Well, Merle Abzug would be the winner.
Merle Hoffman's a guy you borrow hedge clippers from. It's not a friggin' woman's name.
Merle.
No, M-E-R-L-E is Merle.
No, Stephanie.
Well, I thought maybe she spelled. You know, sometimes girls will spell their name. It'll be Jill, but they spell it like J-Y-L-L-E-X.
There is no way this is Merle because it's M-E-R-L-E.
It's Merle.
It's Merle.
How about Merle?
Her name is Merle.
How about Merle?
No.
I still say it's not Merle.
It's Merle.
She wears tight dungarees and work boots. Her name is Merle.
She does.
Walks around with a pocket kazoo and a ukulele with a strap on it around her neck.
She has hair like Joe Dirt. Merle stinks.
I hate Merle.
I hate Merle too. I hope Merle gets Abzug on her. I was going to say
Ossorio?
ovaries. You have
Ossorio.
There's Abzugs on your ovaries. We're sorry.
The picture they had, the Ossorio girl is the picture.
Let me see. Let me see what she looks like.
Oh, that's her?
She's kind of hottish for somebody who's like, you know.
It's not totally bad for
I wouldn't mind hitting
what
that.
she does.
No, she's kind of cute for what she is.
Whatever.
But she's the president of now right now?
What a wonderful sense of humor she must have.
I bet.
All she deals with is bleeding gums and, you know,
black eyes
and bad excuses on why they didn't get their housework done. I was cleaning and he was drinking. Yeah, all right, fine. But why don't you explain why dinner was cold again? How about that, Toots? Don't give Sonia one side of the story.
I like putting her picture right next to Louis and yours, Patrice. Yeah. It really fills out the whole thing.
No, put hers to the left of me, and I'm in the middle, and that's the caption.
Oh, okay. And there it is, just like that.
That's how it went.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's bad.
Wow, that's not good.
It looks like you two are indicted for raping her.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
Wait, but do you know the original paper? It takes up half the top of the paper. The next article was Nazi riot at a Jewish wedding. A Nazi riot at a Jewish wedding was the next
story to read after.
Did it also say no laughing matter?
After your filth.
No, Nazi riot was a laugh reference. Nazi riot was a bunch of like a laugh riot. Well, I tell you, I want to see Sonia Ossorio's desk. I'll bet you she just has tissue box after tissue box for all the snivellers that walk in.
Got a refrigerator with raw steaks in it for their eyes.
Oh my God!
You know, it's the organization's logo on the side of the tissue boxes. Everyone likes the merchandise.
Dude, I don't know, and they didn't tell us it was a beating. It was beatings of homeless women.
How great is that? You're backstage getting ready for your set you've done 1,000,000 times, and you have no clue that there's like people in the audience that have been beat silly.
And I told the Louis the same thing you do. You know, Norton, you do what you're doing at the time. So
no one told you.
They said it
not that you would have changed your act because we know you.
Not that you should.
Yeah, of course not.
It was a regular. We thought it was just all regular homeless.
Not the beat up one.
You know, it changed my whole thing.
The article gets much better.
Not only is now National Organization of Women, but it's when you should do the housework when you're told.
Oh my God!
They had a problem with our Whip 'Em Out Wednesday promotion.
Of course they did.
Yeah, we had our run-ins with them.
Yeah, she's the president of the New York chapter of Now.
Of Now.
How much fun could she be?
It was so, you don't understand, man. How it was so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
The situation. I just came in, did my abusive humor, and left. Went to a party.
Can I ask you something? Were you getting good reactions from the crowd?
Of course.
You were killing, right?
Of course.
So you were killing, and stupid Andrea Peyser was in the audience. She didn't like what you were saying, probably because maybe it hits too close to home, I'm thinking. And all of a sudden she has to write a whole column on it. So you weren't getting booed off the stage or nothing?
There was one lady that could have been Andrea that were yelling out, "Excuse me."
She did not.
Somebody, I don't know who.
Ew.
Excuse me. And I've heard that excuse me before because, of course, I've pissed women off to them enough to go, excuse me. She was going to say something like, "Do you have a girlfriend? Has your mother ever like this. I was in the middle of doing.
Oh, you heard her and you stopped your set?
I said like this. I said, let me just finish this one here, and I'll get to your question. Because she was very deliberate. She had a very...
Excuse me. I'm empowered, and
you should not go to a comedy show.
Don't.
It's as simple as that.
Wait a minute. I go like this, which I know had to piss whoever it was off. I go, hold on. I finished the joke, and then I go... Oh, they said I gotta go. Like I did. They said I have to go. Thank you very much. I gotta go.
Good night. Not addressing you, you dope.
She should be that zealous when she's dropping those little blue hockey pucks into the septic tank. That's when she should have that type of go-get-'em attitude. When there's a streak in the tub, get that go-getter attitude.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. There's a streak in this tub, and I better get to cleaning.
Oh, didn't I say scrambled?
Oh, I thought you said sunny side.
Excuse me. It's not your problem. They picked the comedians for this benefit. They can do their research. And
their research, right.
Yeah, go get some boring, safe comics if you're going to be offended so easily.
On my best day, I'm still marginally, like on my least offensive day, somebody can complain about it's whatever.
All right, let's move on with the article because it gets really good.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a little tiptoeing around this one, too.
Now, she starts off this one paragraph. This is Andrea Peyser. Now, I like to think I have a seriously twisted sense of humor.
I would love to find out what she thinks is twisted.
You don't.
It's funny.
But did you read the part with... Oh, you couldn't.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
We'll get there.
When they said maim and...
Yeah. Maiming, killing, and we couldn't say the other thing.
That's seriously twisted. How could she not find that funny?
That's not. She didn't even say a twisted sense of humor. She said seriously
and
twisted.
She likes to think that about herself.
You know what?
Oh,
you don't.
Honey, I can go with the best of them.
I bet at her little coffee clutches she goes to with all her little old maid women sitting there. She is the life of the party with her jokes.
You know what it is? They're probably all around with their dumb broad friends, and they play cards, and they watch soaps. And someone says something about having too many drinks, and she goes, oh, I had too many drinks once, it was crazy.
Let me tell you.
Twisted and seriously crazy.
Twisted and crazy.
Oh, she's a
You're
nut.
not twisted. Your sense of humor stinks.
It's not.
And if Andrea Peyser was the one saying, excuse me, call our show. Call our show. We'll let you have the air and see what you're all about.
Free reign of our airwaves to explain yourself.
Now, I like to think I have a seriously twisted sense of humor, but I was among those who felt ill. But you're telling us that not many people were complaining, right? You were getting huge laughs.
Whatever.
Among those who felt ill when I heard comic Patrice O'Neal.
He's a guy.
He's a guy. They ought to put that.
Heard comic Patrice O'Neal instruct men on how to turn a lover into a pirate.
How great is that?
And we have to stop there because the FCC has a major problem with all these stupid things.
Yeah, but there's a way to do this.
But the fact that she wrote it, that you're reading what she wrote, is not...
It's amazing.
It's not,
that's why the FCC stinks on ice.
It's doing something. It's doing something in the heat of passion that will end up with the woman having to have one of her eyes shut real quickly, like getting something in her eye, so it'll shut. And that is supposed to represent the patch over the eye.
Oh.
Yeah, you slam her in the face with your fist. And that's supposed to represent the patch being over the eye. And then it says, then kicking her leg until she says, and it's spelt out in quotations, arg.
This is why when I was reading it, I thought that she was not trying to make a bad article. Because why would she
write it?
The joke is, it reads funny.
It reads funny,
she's
right.
so stupid for doing that. Like, you don't put arg, and then that might have, but she put arg.
Well, hey, she's showing she's got a twisted sense of humor.
No, Opie, she's so stupid.
No kidding.
Why would she do that?
Because as a dumb woman, she doesn't understand that is funny as it is, so she writes it out and thinks that's terrible. And Merle agrees, and so does Abzug,
Liz Abzug,
and so does that other pie eater, and
Sonia Ossorio.
And then it says,
Sonia Ossorio. That's what you should have said when you didn't give the eggs right to your husband.
I'm Ossorio.
Ossorio. Lightheaded.
Ossorio. Yeah, if you said your last name a few times, maybe you would have saved a few black eyes.
He also drew laughs and gasps. You drew gasps? By teaching men to improve the pinnacle of pleasure, let's say, by paralyzing partners during the act.
Which was the donkey punch. Can you?
Yeah, just say that. I'm telling you, the FCC has fined people like crazy over all that.
Can't really describe
all those terms are like such a no-no on radio.
And she doesn't. She's making this like this is my creation.
Right.
I'm like,
no.
I'm just going through it. Like, what? She made it to be some type of. She validated that nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely did.
And then she goes way overboard, as far as I'm concerned. Andrea Peyser.
Yes. Then Louis C.K., whose HBO series Lucky Louie was mercifully canceled.
That's just out of order.
You know, why?
Why? Why do you have to kick us all down?
So she didn't like it, so she figured...
Of course I thought she had a twisted sense of humor. What does she like that's twisted? Everything that I think is funny, she hates.
She's ignorant, man.
I love this
I hate people like this, because... they think if they didn't like something that everyone else should not like something. I hate that more than anything.
Now this is a seriously twisted sense. She had a seriously twisted sense of humor. She'd find this funny.
Right.
Then Louis C.K., whose HBO series Lucky Louie mercifully canceled, one-upped his twisted colleague, joking about decimating his stupid 4-year-old daughter by bashing her in the head.
And she goes, arg.
I love that.
She should have wrote arg. I've seen the words "arg" since Batman was on TV.
We have someone that was in the audience, Sheep Lover, who's listening on XM. The girl who stood up yelling, "Excuse me," was not Andrea. I saw the girl who did that. She was yelling, "Would you like that done to your mom or sister?"
Of course.
And then he writes, "Ha ha, Patrice killed. He's the best." The crowd loved it. So for the most part, the crowd loved it, except for this bitch.
Too bad you didn't hear that, because you could have answered yes, that you would love that done to your girlfriend and mother, and would pay to watch it, depending how much you'd spend on the ethnicity of the person doing it. You could have really. I'll pay extra for an unclipped gentleman.
Oh, wow, this is interesting. The next paragraph.
Bobby
Watts, executive director of Care for the Homeless, told me he had some complaints about the show. Though in a frantic email to Hoffman, Watts insisted that one of the show's producers, Carolyn Thompson, was outraged by the material and let the comics have it backstage.
In a way, I wanted to smash Bobby Watts. But he's the director of Care from the Homeless, and she yanked money, so he kind of has to do that.
I was going to say, I feel like I should be loyal to the guy, but they didn't say anything.
Screw them.
He's just trying to get
And
money.
did anybody catch hell backstage?
You even
Stop. Could you imagine Patrice O'Neal standing there as somebody lambasts him about his act? You'd make that face. That was in the paper. That's where they'd get that picture.
It's just, I couldn't believe it was that political watching this thing. Like, reading and I'm going, what? I just did that stupidness and left.
Oh, poor Bobby Watts. He then had to. I want to state that I do not condone the offensive women-hating nature of the routines Watts wrote to Hoffman.
I wonder if Merle got the email.
Did you write, "Dear
Merle at Yahoo"?
Was it "Dear Ms. Hoffman," or was it "Hey Merle"?
Yeah, she got the email in between cooking tips.
Merle
she was looking up on the Google.
Merle Merle flips up her flannel collar.
He said Merle.
Dear
Merle.
Merle's got some emasculated man. Some emasculated man that cooks for her.
Dear Merle, LOL.
You don't even put a comma after Merle. It's a colon.
Merle. Another producer, Mark Krantz, disputed that anyone was upset. He said the organizers knew very well what the comics might say. We're sorry if it offended, but the performers knew why they were there, and they were there for free.
Didn't even get paid.
Krantz. He said the event's organizers walked into this with their eyes open. I'm sure on some planet these comics are funny.
Well, get Andrea Peyser on the phone. Andrea, don't hide.
But for a woman's
on our show.
Homeless shelter, that's a bad joke.
I'm sure on some planet these comics are funny. What an ass. Just because you didn't like it, that's fine. You have your own opinion. I respect that, but to think that people don't think Patrice O'Neal's funny is ridiculous.
I don't know, man.
According
to Andrea, she has a seriously twisted sense of humor.
Seriously twisted.
I'll bet you her and Merle and the Abzug girl shared a few belly laughs backstage.
Oh.
Remember that time you got pregnant and then you sneezed and you weren't pregnant anymore? Bah!
I bet they chuckle watching that clear hose trying to identify what pieces are going through it.
Look,
is that a lil hand?
I would have shaken that. Oh, my sense of humor is so twisted I'm laughing. Mess on the linoleum. O-T-E. Oh, well, that could have been a president.
Oh, boy. That's good. Great.
Hey, what happened
from bassinet to biohazard bag?
We got more. We got more on the story from Patrice O'Neal because I guess his fine woman there
what a trooper.
Got into an email battle with Andrea Peyser.
Oh, what a trooper.
Good for her.
She ran in the house.
Good for your girl, man.
Her main thing was she was upset mostly with Merle. Because it's like, why would you yank your money?
Yeah.
Because of what my boyfriend said. But
yeah, that's worse than
like
what
the women don't need the money
Not
because you upset her.
I don't think you did anything wrong, but if you're thinking about what's worse, I think what's worse is like pulling money out of an organization that needs the help over a dumb joke.
Right.
I'm sorry. I just got so distracted at what I think was the news.
It is the news. Anthony,
no, it can't possibly be the news. No, you're kidding.
It's white people dancing, and two of them are wearing the Jamaican hats.
They're wearing Jamaican hats with the fake dreads coming out.
Losing weight to reggae.
And they're dancing behind the anchor desk. Could you ever see Walter Cronkite with a reggae hat on and dreads?
No. How the hell could you lose weight to reggae?
Lose weight to reggae, yeah.
You're not losing weight to reggae. You're smoking pot and sitting in a lounge chair next to a pool.
How the hell do you lose weight freaking listening to reggae?
Smoking blunts.
Are you kidding?
Stop it. Look at these idiots.
I can see you losing weight listening to Boy George music, but not reggae.
Oh, man, 6 months later.
There you go.
He's just lost all the weight you need.
I'm dumbfounded watching
Who's watching the news and actually laughing?
I don't know. It's all right. Anyway, so what happened with the chick?
And I have a severely twisted, seriously.
Oh, God, I like to think I have a twisted sense of humor.
Let's get back to Patrice, because I want to wrap this up so we can move on to other things.
Yeah, she started it out. I didn't read it because I know how I am. If I read it, I would have been, backseat driving her grating. But I read it was really good. She was it began with, I am Patrice O'Neal's fiance, and then in parentheses, AKA his bitch. And I'm here to say that I have never been maimed or beaten in the act of sex. But she never defended that I'm a misogynist. She never said I'm not one.
She probably tried to, and her computer wouldn't let her type it. It kept deleting.
But she wrote a long thing and all of gripes. And Andrea wrote back, I have to paraphrase it, but she basically wrote back, listen, first of all, don't shoot the messenger. Second of all, I am not before you give me a speech about journalistic integrity, I am not a journalist. I'm a columnist. So
they're paid for their opinions.
To me, it's fine. She's got an opinion, but it's a lousy one. Yeah. It's one that is contradictory to her saying that she has a seriously twisted sense of humor. And that's.
Do women like that have sex? Like Gloria's already.
I'll bet you. Not only do they have sex, but I'll bet you that they like their hair pulled, and I'll bet you that they are just dirtbag submissive. That's what my guess would be. Because any woman that's running around tooting her own horn like that and just demanding, I guarantee you,
I think a lot of these.
If they're straight, they're dirty subs.
A lot of these right-wing guys that are against homosexuality always end up popping out of the closet when something happens. Or some guy comes in and says, "Hey, we were having sex." Same thing with these women. Yeah, they probably in bed just love a little hair tug.
We have another person that was at the show, Anna from Bayside. As someone who attended the show, it's ironic that twatty Carolyn Ray and Paula Poundstone weren't lambasted for their tacky attempts at man-bashing.
Oh, was Paula Poundstone and Carolyn Ray trying to...
I wasn't even going to ask Patrice that question. He has no clue.
I don't know.
He just waits to do a little man go on stage. I had no doubt in my mind. You didn't see any part of the show.
I don't know what it is.
I guess that's okay, because when a woman tries to hit you, you just laugh at her anyway.
Absolutely. You just take a little slap and you just give it right back harder.
And then Anna continues.
Put your class ring on her cheek.
Anna continues, they just wish they got laughs like Patrice and Louis did. Stupid. And then she used the C plural word. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, she went there.
Comic kooks. Comedians.
I can't believe here's the worst thing of Andrea Peyser. She's a homely woman. They're columnists like Linda Stacy and they're all ugly. None of them are sexy. I don't know what Merle looks like, but she couldn't be hot.
Merle can't be sexy.
How can she be?
Well, this is
Merle.
This is how we wrap this up. Once again, we invite the columnists to defend themselves on the Opie and Anthony show. It never happened.
I want to talk to Merle.
They all hide.
Let's get
We'll talk to Merle Hoffman. We'll talk to Liz Asberg. Abzug, whatever. We'll talk to the girl that has sorry in her last name.
Ossorio. Sonia Ossorio.
And the Peyser woman.
And we'll talk to the Peyser woman.
Do we try getting them all, Merle?
All at once.
What happened? Too early, right? They all say that.
Oh, too early.
All right, it's the O&A virus spreading across America. Patrice O'Neal, everyone. We have Louis C.K.'s waiting on hold here, just listening to us babble about nothing.
Talky.
Hey, Louis, what's up?
Sweetie.
And the lack of interest in it.
Congrats on the print.
Oh, yeah, that was some nice ink. That was great.
We've been talking about it all morning. We have Patrice O'Neal in studio.
Yeah, I was very proud of that. I thought that was awesome.
No laughing matter, my friend.
Well, you should know better than...
How many, every time something happens with comedy, that's the headline.
Yep.
No laughing matter. That's really creative.
But this woman claims to have this really seriously twisted sense of humor.
Yeah.
And then just trashes you guys.
Yeah, I actually thought she was fair in a lot of ways. Like, she says that Patrice got laughs. Like, she could have just not mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
She does say he got laughs and gasps, which is true. I was there. There were people that were bumming out, but they were helping to make laugh the people with senses of humor. So
that happens at the women's clinics, too. Laughs and gasps.
Yeah, the boyfriend's laughing and high-fiving his friends while she's gasping and thinking he's still going to stay with her because she's going through what he promised he'd stay with her if she went through. You mean if I get it taken care of, you won't break up with me? Yeah. And he hears that thing get plugged in, and he hears the kickstart, and he high-fives his friends, and they leave her there.
Oh my God.
Have some orange juice and get your road ride home, you no morning after pill whore.
I just got to sell these concert tickets to pay for it.
Best times, right on. The one thing about Andrea Peyser that she fails to mention in the column, the headline is No Laughing Matter, but Louis C.K. and Patrice O'Neal were getting huge laughs at this show. There was only a handful of people that weren't enjoying it.
Yeah, no, it was killing. And the thing is that the point of having us there was not that we weren't supposed to be there to talk about how great women's shelters are.
Yeah.
We were there to put our names on the show so that people would come and see us. And both Patrice and I, when we went on stage, got big applause going on. So we know that people paid money to that women's shelter so that they could watch us say horrible things about women. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Right.
If they had a show where a bunch of people stand up there and talk about how nice everybody should be, nobody would have paid any money. So, this woman that pulled her support, though, that's what makes me sick.
Yeah.
She thinks that she's helping. She thinks that she's fighting misogyny by taking money away from a woman's shelter. So
yeah. Well, you think if Merle Hoffman would have been billed, that she was going to be up on stage, and Liz Abzug was going to be up there, that the place would have packed out? Of course not.
The thing that's funny, too, is that Merle Hoffman, it says she pulled her support.
Yeah.
She's the president of Choices Women's Clinic.
Yeah.
It's not like they had money. She just decided to be bitter and say something crappy, but it's not like she was pouring money into the place.
Oh, so she just is removing her support.
Well, that's the way I read it, because it doesn't...
So,
No, I think she was... Actually, I think they said she was a big financial contributor. Maybe on a personal level she was.
It doesn't say that on the...
No? I thought it said she was a big contributor. I could be wrong.
No, she's just another, person with a handout for women that get hit.
I tell you one thing, isn't it great, though, that she yanked all that money, and all she did was, like, with every dollar she yanked, 2 more teeth got loosened.
Yeah. No kidding.
Tee-hee. There you go, girls.
Black guys for everyone, because she doesn't have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, I'm going to, we're all here to support these women, and I thought those guys weren't funny, so I'm taking money away from these ladies.
So
yeah.
stupid.
Well, I wonder what they would have done if De Niro or somebody had volunteered to say, be the MC. Would they have objected because he beat his wife in Raging Bull? It's once again the double standard for comedy. It's just revolting.
Right.
And again, look at what Paula Poundstone was in the news for.
Well, yeah, I don't know that Paula did anything.
Well,
No, I said she was in the news for.
It was alleged.
Alleged.
They forgave her. They're fine with her now.
Yeah.
But you weren't even accused of that. And what bugged me is this woman ran a woman's choice clinic, which is basically, it's an abortion clinic, correct?
Yeah, I guess so.
And you're talking about beating up your kid. And I'm like, well, at least they had the thing. God almighty, at least you guys had it and loved it and repainted the room. She didn't even want to repaint the room. She's like, let's just leave it as a study.
Well, this is what I love about the stuff they chose of mine to complain about. They obviously combed through my act looking for something that was against women.
Yeah.
I don't talk about any women or hitting women, but they found, he hit a little girl. So if I had done a bit about hitting my little boy, they would have said, who cares, little
Yeah,
faggot.
wouldn't have been in there.
Yeah.
Let him hit the little faggot. Nobody cares about boys.
I love where it says joking about decimating his stupid 4-year-old daughter by bashing her in the head. It looks so good in writing. It looks like a restraining order.
Yeah, really.
It looks like she thinks my daughter is...
Louis, do you remember that picture
Yeah.
you took?
What's that?
That picture that's in the paper, do you remember that from anywhere? Can you trace that picture back? Like, oh, I remember this picture.
That's me from HBO special, the half hour I did 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Okay, all right.
The publicity photo they got from HBO, so HBO supplied that to help them malign me.
Yeah, because you look like a lunatic, and Patrice just looks like he's ready to carjack you.
You know. Patrice looks like he's going, oh, were the people there? I didn't know.
Well, I mean, you don't want to really. I mean, as a comic, we all know that people like, Liz Abzug and Merle Hoffman. I mean, that's basically the target audience because they're very funny people. You know, women who are involved in social causes always have wonderful senses of humor.
Oh,
hilarious!
That's the whole point. The whole point of this stupid event was, let's take this out of our realm and go get some. You know, it was Rich Voss was there. The bill was a dirty, nasty bunch of guys because we pull in numbers and we make money for them. We didn't get paid to do this. We did this for them.
Yeah.
And so the idea that this lady's going to, like, protest by, but she should just go over to that shelter and start hitting women because she didn't think we were funny.
Well, I not only should she, but I think we all, too, as well. Not I love women.
Norton, man, he's funny. Why is Norton has too much about beating all women?
No reason. I mean, I didn't go through a horrible experience this weekend that I'm devastated. No.
Oh, believe me, when it comes to a little woman bashing this week, it is
oh, boy, you picked
Jimmy's
the right
week.
guy.
Yeah, this hit a perfect day for us.
I make LaMotta look like Alan Alda this week.
I can picture Norton's entire left side going out his socket trying to punch anything.
Sorry, didn't mean to laugh that hard.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. You're hurting today. I shouldn't have laughed that hard.
What happened, Jim?
Nothing does comedy better than being quoted so that you can tell how funny it is in an angry article. Because Patrice's bit is obviously, I mean, just the fact that she spelled out arg.
Yeah, arg. Yeah. I mean, it reads funny.
A lot of A's, by the way.
It's not my Louis. It's not even my bit. It's just that.
It's a thing.
One of those
It's going around. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's yours now, buddy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Arg.
All right, Louis.
Do we have an update?
God,
are we trying to get Andrea Peyser on the... Dan? Steve? Can't get her on the phone from the New York Post?
That.